Hey everybody, it's your boy Nerdicane. I am doing a combo review. It is also the last time I'm going to review Mercy. Um, not for bad reasons, not because it's. I've read 2 issues, I've caught up. It's not like a lot of Jason Aaron stuff or a lot of stuff from the big two where I get into the actual meat of the story and I go, okay, yeah, I was right about that. I was right about that. That was horrible foreshadowing. That was, that didn't make sense. It wasn't because of that. It's because it's really hard to review good books. These are good books. You should be buying Mercy from Image Comics by Mirka Andolfo. Mirka Andolfo is an Italian artist. She is great with the fans. She does a lot of stuff on her Twitter. I don't know why she's on Twitter anymore. Nobody should be on Twitter. I imagine she draws women so beautifully. I imagine they're going to come for her someday. The SJWs who just the postmodernists who this is absolutely abhorrent to them to draw something to draw a woman being very beautiful. But the cool thing, when this came out, I was already on board. Mirka Andolfo, I really love her work. I love her art. I love the way she tells a story. Either she has this comedy series which I've done reviews on called Unsacred, which is I've actually gotten laughs out of, which is really hard to do for me. And it's really hard to do in a comic book. Comic book people generally aren't the funniest, most outgoing people. They're always kind of shut-ins. They're usually alone drawing. They're not really funny people, but there are genuinely legit funny parts of that book. Go check that out as well. But when she started this series, in an interview, she said it's going to be an exploration of what it is to be a monster. And you see that in these 2 issues. You see that there's things are revealed. The first 2 issues were really good. There was some foreshadowing. There's some foreshadowing that you didn't really pick up on that you pick up on later. That's really good, really subtle writing and storytelling. You start to get the reveals. You start to understand what Mercy or not Mercy, I can't remember, Lady Helena and Mr. Goodwill, these 2 characters, the 2 main characters, the quote-unquote creatures, you start to realize that this is just a shell, this very beautiful form. Speaking of form and color, Mirka Andolfo is what, if Todd McFarlane and J. Scott Campbell could have a child, it would be Mirka Andolfo. And I kind of realize this when I see her draw children, and then when I see her, because she does a lot of her own coloring, when I see her coloring and her figures, her women, they're very, very beautiful, like J. Scott Campbell. But then you see the colors, and the colors remind me a lot of Todd McFarlane back in the good old days. The way he would color things. And there's a few scenes in this one that I was like, wow, that could have been Todd McFarlane doing the colors. Although I don't think she's doing the colors on this. Is it Giancarlo on this one? Here's it. There you go. There's the people doing the colors. I can't see that well enough to read it right now, but yeah, that's kind of what this reminds me of. The style, the 2 styles merging together. You start to realize that yes, they are quote-unquote monsters inside of these very beautiful shells, but you see in this story, and I don't want to spoil it, that they were they're Lovecraftian on the insides. They're like these Lovecraftian monsters. They are a life form so alien to us that we have really no conception of that type of life. They were, through whatever, and I think it's going to be shown later in the later books, through whatever means they were brought to this world against their will. In their universe where they were brought from, they are considered eternal. They live eternally. Well, they came here and they have to deal with mortality, and they have to deal with hunger, and they feed on people. What they do, and as you kind of see in these books, and it's really interesting because to us, yes, they're monsters, but to them, they're sort of like captives. They were pulled from their world into ours, and they have to eat humans to survive. Well, and they have to take these forms to kind of blend in so they can continue to survive. Well, the cool thing is, they sort of, and it explains a little bit, they get into this, they get here into this world, and they become addicted to the emotions and the people that they encounter and inhabit and consume. They sort of consume their thoughts and their memories as well, which is why you see the main character, this is the back, oh, I don't want to spoil that. Yeah. You see, there's a sort of like an echo in everybody that they consume, these quote unquote monsters. There's some bit of an echo of that person's memory that stays in them. They don't really understand it because, once again, this isn't their world. They've been dragged here sort of against their will, and these two have not really tried to get back. There's really cool things. You see, like, the locals talk about a monster called the Northwoods Monster or the Northwoods Creature or something like that. And when you're watching the story, when you're reading the story, you think, oh, it's just them. It's, they've been doing it. But then you realize that they came from Seattle recently, and the Northwoods Monster has been a folk tale, and you sort of realize what that was. And it's really good writing. This is what we should see. This should be, I don't want to say the standard, because this is definitely not standard. This should be, in any time period, in any era of comic books, this would be a really good comic book. In 2020, it's an outstanding comic book. This is one of the best in going right now. It should get an Eisner, but I don't think it'll get an Eisner because, the Eisners aren't about good comics anymore. But I highly recommend this. I'm not going to do any more of these. I'm not going to review any more of these because I think I've said enough on just the quality of this book and just how flippin' good it is. And there's surprises. I'm not going to spoil any of this. There's surprises that you didn't think were going to happen. You think somebody has plot armor? They don't have plot armor. This is a horror story. Nobody's got plot armor. But that's all I got for this one. Go check this out. It is a really good series. I've really enjoyed it. I'm not going to do any more reviews of this. I will move on to something else like Spawn. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. You guys hit a like, hit a subscribe. Go to your store. Please go to your store and buy this. Don't just get it digitally. I mean, if you have to get it digitally, if you don't have a store in your city because stores are kind of dying, fine, get it digitally. It doesn't have the same impact and the same tactile feel and the same, the same feel that you would if you got it in hand. So if you still have a comic book store in your area, go buy it from them. Please try to support these, and let's try to keep these alive while hopefully they transition away from comic books. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Thank you for your time. You guys go out, have a good day. Go find something you like, go find something you love, and do it. Bye.